In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Reminders app, specifically the Reminders app on the iPhone. I have 16 tips for you on how you can better use the Reminders app. Everything from creating reminders through the share sheet to creating templates for your lists. Now, if you like what you see in this video, stick around till the end of the video. I'll have a little bit more information on myself and how you can support my efforts in creating these videos. All right, let's get back over to the Reminders app. So what we're going to focus on first are 4 different ways to create reminders, including how we can create reminders through the share sheet. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to open up the Reminders app, and then we need to open up a list here. So let's go ahead and open up my inbox. And the first way that you can open up a reminder, as you probably most likely know, is just go down here to New Reminder, tap on it, and it'll add a new reminder. Pretty simple. Also, what I can do is I can tap below my reminders list, and I can go and start typing here. I'm just going to go with a reminder here. And then it'll add that reminder. So those are 2 simple ways. To add another one, all I would have to do is just go down here and add another one. We can also use Siri. All I have to do is just ask her to add a reminder, and I can ask her to add a reminder to a specific list. And then the 4th way is using the share sheet. If you wanted to share a web page from Safari to reminders, how can you do that? You do it through the share sheet. Any app that you can share with, in most cases, you'll be able to share it with the reminders. So let's go over to Safari here, and let's say I wanted to share this with reminders. All I need to do is just go down to the share sheet here, and then you're going to see all of your apps here. Now, if you don't see reminders, you're going to see I do have reminders here. But if you don't see reminders, what you're able to do is swipe over to the left here and select which app you want to share reminders with, or which app you want to share this web page with. In my case here, I want to share it with reminders. So I tap on reminders. And then from here, I can type in the name. We can see what the notes are. And we can even select which reminders list we want to add it to. So let's just go ahead and add this to my inbox. I tap on add here. And now when we go back over to my reminders and we go to the inbox, you're going to see I have that reminder there from Safari. So those are 4 different ways to add reminders to the Reminders app. Now let's go on to our next tip. Now in this tip, we're going to look at how we can sort reminders. We're going to look at how we can sort reminders within a list. So let's go back over to my iPhone. So I'm looking at my inbox here, and if I wanted to sort these reminders, just go up to the 3 dots here. This is what we call an ellipsis, or in Apple's terminology, it's called the More button. So now I just tap on these 3 dots, and then you're going to see Sort By. When I tap on this, I'm able to select how I want to sort them. I can sort them by due date, creation date, as well as priority and title. And then I can also change the sort order. To change a sort order, we just go to these little arrows here. When it is in manual sort, the way that we change the order is we just drag and drop. So I can drag this up above reminders. We don't want to drag it on top. That'll make it a subtask. More on that later. But basically, we just want to drag it above the other reminder, and now I've changed that sort order. So that's how we change our sort order of our reminders. Now in this tip, we're going to look at how we can view our completed reminders. So let's go back over to my iPhone. So I'm looking at my reminders here, and if I want to complete any one of these, all I have to do is just tap on the circle here. So let's go ahead and complete a few of these. So I tap on the circle here, and then eventually what will happen is they will disappear. So let's say I wanted to mark one as incomplete. I want to view my completed reminders. How can I do that? Well, again, we go back up to our More button here where we went and sorted our reminders. When I tap on that, you're going to see an option here for Show Completed. When I tap on that, I can show the completed, and now I'm able to mark any one of these as incomplete. And when you do, what it does is it moves the completed ones down towards the bottom. Now, as long as this shows hide completed, what this will do is this will show your completed reminders. I know it sounds a little confusing, but basically what this is an action button. If I tap on this, it's going to hide the completed, which means that it is showing my completed ones right now. So when that is saying hide completed, basically I'm able to mark any one of these, and you're going to see that they do not disappear. So you can have your completed items remain in your list or remain shown in your list. We just have to make sure that we have this saying hide completed, because this is an action. Think of this as a verb. Hide completed means that when you tap on this, it's going to hide your completed reminders. So that's how you can show and hide your completed reminders. Now let's take a look at notifications. What we're able to do with reminders is set a reminder to notify. So we can have this set by date and time, or even location, or when we message someone. So let's go back over to my Reminders app on the iPhone. Now, in order to set a notification, the first thing we need to do is look at the details for a reminder. To do that, what we need to do is just tap on it. So I'm going to tap on Clean the Car here. And then you're going to see an eye. I tap on the eye, and I have a card that pops up with all of the details. So as I mentioned, what we're able to do is set a notification for date and time. Pretty simple. Tap on the sliders to enter a date, tap on the slider to enter a time. But we also have location. What we're able to do is set a reminder to notify us at a specific location, or even when I leave for somewhere or arrive somewhere. So let's say I'm leaving my house. It means I'm probably leaving in my car. So what I want to do is I want to remind me to wash the car. So what we do is we just tap on location here, and you're going to see we have a number of options. I can set it for my current location or my home here, but also when I get in my car and get out of the car. So let's say I wanted to wash my car, and I want it to remind me when I get in my car. So then it notifies me to go to the car wash. So all I would have to do is just tap on Get In. But in addition to that, if we slide this over to the left, I can also set a custom location. So if I'm driving by the car wash, we have another option for notifications, and that is when messaging. When I tap on this or tap on the slider here, what it's going to do is allow me to choose a person, and when I text that person, it's going to remind me. It's going to show me this notification. So in addition to the standard date and time, we also have notifications for location and when we message someone. Now let's say you have a reminder that you want to repeat. Maybe you want to wash the car every week. How can you do that? Well, basically what we need to do is go back over to that detail for the reminder. So let's go back over to my iPhone. I tap on Clean the Car, and then I tap on the circle here to get my details. From here, what I need to do is I need to tap on Date, because we're going to repeat this by date. So I tap on the slider for date. I can put any specific date here, so now it's going to remind me on March 22. But let's say I wanted to repeat this. Well, then what I do is I just go down here to repeat, and I can set it up for daily, weekdays, weekends, bi-weekly, monthly, every 3 months. We have a lot of different options here. But the problem with these are they just repeat on a regular basis. So every Monday, every weekday, every weekend. What I would want to do is I want to customize it. Maybe I want to have it on specific days or the last Saturday of every month. How can we do that? Well, that's where Customize comes into play. I tap on Customize, and then from here we have frequency and every. So let's go ahead and set it up for monthly. So I tap on frequency here, and we're going to go with monthly. Now you're going to see that I have some more options down here. If I just wanted to select some random days or specific days, not random, but all I have to do is just tap on them, and you're going to see that it's going to remind me on each one of those days. But that's not what I want to do. Let's say I wanted to have it on the last Saturday of every month. We can do that as well. To do that, what we do is we go to On The, and then when we tap on that, I can select the last And then we go over to Saturday. And now what it's going to do is remind me on the last Saturday of every month. So as you can see with Customize, we have a few more options. We can make it multiple days or the last Saturday, the first Monday, anything like that, which we can't do with our standard repeat options here. So that's how we can repeat our notifications as well as customize them. We can also set an early reminder. So when you set an appointment up for a doctor, you always want to be there, or they request that you be there 15 minutes early. Well, maybe what you'd like to do is have this remind you 15 minutes before the appointment, or maybe 30 minutes before the appointment, so then you can drive over there. Well, that's what, when we're looking at our card details here, that is what early reminder does. So if I set a time for 4 p.m., what I can do is I can set it. Let's go ahead and set a time for 4 p.m. Now what I want it to do is remind me at 3:30 though. The appointment is for 4, but I want it to remind me at 3:30. So now I just go over to early reminder here, and then what I can do is set it for 30 minutes early. So we can see it's still 4 p.m., but what it's going to do is remind me 30 minutes before that. Now, in addition to adding a reminder, within each reminder, we can also add notes or images or even URLs. So let's go back over to my iPhone here and take a look at New York Times. So I just tap on it, and then we go over to the I here. When we go over to the I, you're going to see that I have notes. So I can type in here notes if I want, any notes that I want to add. And then it also has URL. Now, being that this was shared from Safari through the share sheet, it added the URL right to that field. So now I no longer have to add it in there, but I can type in a URL here as well. And then when we go down to the bottom here, we can also add an image. So I just tap on this, and then I can go and take a photo. I can scan a document, or I can also just go and choose a photo from my photo library. So let's say you wanted to create a reminder for a document that you received in the mail. Well, you can create the reminder and then add that image via scanning it. So that's how you can add notes, URLs, or even images to your reminders. Now, did you know that you could also create subtasks in a reminder? Let's see how. So I'm looking at my reminders here, and you're going to see that I have a number of reminders here that are related to my car. So when I go and clean my car, what I would also like to do is vacuum it out. I want to wash the windows. I want to check the tire pressure. Well, what I can do is I can add these 3 items here as a subtask to clean the car. So when I'm working on my car, cleaning the car, I'm going to see these 3 as subtasks. How do we do that? Well, basically all we have to do is just drag it on top of the other one. So I'm going to go with vacuum here. I'm going to drag it on top of clean the car. And when I do, it's going to create a subtask. So let's go ahead and do that. I just long press on it and drag it on top. You're going to see that it changed to a different color. I let go, and now we can see it's a subtask. So let's go ahead and do that with the other ones too. Just drag it on top of the other one. And now we have my clean car with 3 subtasks. And if I want to close those subtasks, I can do that by tapping on the little caret here, and it closes the subtask. This one has 3 different subtasks associated with it. I want to view them. I just tap on it, and then I can check them off as I do. So that's how we can add subtasks. We use drag and drop for that. Now, something new that was added with iOS 17 is sections. What we're able to do is section off our different reminders. We can group them together. Now, it's not like they are subtasks. It's not a task underneath another task. It's just all of your tasks underneath a section. Let's see what I mean. So I have here a number of reminders or to-dos. Some of them have to do when I'm driving the car, while other ones are related to my bike. I need to check the tire pressure. I need to charge the batteries for it. It's an electric bike. What I would like to do is section these off. I don't want to create subtasks. All I want to do is just separate these out. So basically, I just want to have these separated out. Well, that's what sections are. They aren't subtasks. What they are is basically just headers that help you separate your reminders. In order to create a section, what we do is we go back up to our More button here, and then what you're going to see, if you do not have any sections created yet, you're going to see the option to create a new section. Now, if you have sections, this is going to change into Manage Sections. I'll show you that shortly. But let's go ahead and create a new section here. So this one is going to be Car. And now I just tap on Done to add that section. So now we have my section here. Let's go and add another section before we move these around. I need to add another section for bikes. So I go back up under More here, and instead of New Section, you're going to see that it says Manage Sections. So now that I have a section, what I'm able to do is manage it. I can edit my sections, rearrange them, rename them, or I can go and add a new section. That's what we're going to do. So I tap on New Section here, and we'll call this one Bike. And I tap on Done again. So now I have my two sections. Now what I need to do is I need to move these items, these reminders, into the respective sections. We just use drag and drop for that. So I take Wash Car, and I drag it up under Car. You're going to see that when I place it on top, Car turns dark. I let go, and now it's in that section. So I'm just going to do that a few more times here. Buy cat food, I have to get into the car to drive it. It's more of an errand. And then bike, we need to check the tire pressure, and we need to charge the batteries. So now what we have here are my different sections, and I can close off those sections. Tap on the little caret here, and it hides all of my reminders related to the car. So now I can just focus on the bike. Or I can do the opposite, show all of my car just by tapping on these carets here. If you want to add a new item, all you have to do is just go to this area here, and it'll add it to that section. Or what I can do is go to this area here, and it'll add it to that section. If I don't want to add it to a section, I can go to New Reminder here, and when I do, it doesn't add it to any specific section. You're going to see that it says Others here. And then you can go and create a new section by just going up to More here, and then adding a new section. And then you can also manage these by going up to the More button, go over to Manage Sections, and then I go over to Edit Sections, and what this allows me to do is rearrange them and even rename them. So now bike is going to be above car here. So it works a little bit different than subtasks. It's not actually a task, it's just a heading. And with this, what we're able to do is divide our reminders up based on sections. Now let's take a look at tags. With tags, what we're able to do is apply multiple tags to a reminder, but in addition to that, we can also apply a tag to multiple reminders. This gives us a lot of flexibility for showing our reminders, even if they're in multiple lists. Let's see what I mean. Let's go back over to my iPhone. If we look at my reminders here, you're going to see that I could further group these. I have some shopping reminders, buy some energy bars, buy some cat food. I have some reminders that have to deal with tires. Here's for tire pressure on the bike as well as tire pressure on the car. So I have different reminders that could be further grouped. And if I go back to my inbox, I have more reminders for tires. I need to buy a tire patch kit. Also, this could be included in shopping. So how can I keep this all organized? Well, that's where tags come into play. What we're able to do is apply tags to all of these different reminders and then view our reminders by tag. So let's go ahead and do that. It's probably easier if I just show you what we can do with this. So I'm going to go back over to my errands here. And let's just go and add a tag for tires to this reminder, and I'm going to add it for this reminder here. How do we do that? Well, basically, we just have to get to our info for it. So I tap on the I, and then two different ways that I can do this. What I can do is I can type in a tag here in Notes, and with that, all we have to do is just go pound. That's how we tell it that it's a tag. So I go pound, and then I go tire. Now, it does have to be one word. So now I've just added that tag. I tap on Done, and we can see we have a tag here. Let's go and add another tag. We're going to go to check car tire pressure, and I go to the I, and then I can also go to tags here, and you're going to see tire. So I just tap on tire here, and it adds that tag. Let's go and add shopping. So now I'm going to go to buy energy bars. I tap on the I, and this time I'm going to go to tags. We're going to reverse it here. I go to tags, and I add a new tag, and I type in shopping. And when I do this, watch what it does. It's going to put a pound sign at the beginning. And now you're going to see that I have shopping here with a pound sign. So the pound sign basically tells reminders that it is a tag. And again, it does have to be one word. No spaces, nothing like that. It has to be one word. So now I tap on done, and I go to done. And let's go with buy cat food here. Again, tap on the I, and then I go to tags, I go to shopping, go to done, and tap on done. I'll show you another way of adding tags with our shortcuts bar in another tip. But let's just stick with this for now. So now I have these different tags here. I have one other reminder that I want to add tags to. So we go back over to lists here. We're going to go to the inbox. And with this one here, this is both shopping and tire. So I just go over to the I, and I tap on tags, and I go shopping and tire. So I'm applying two different tags to that. Tap on done. So now this one has two different tags. So now I've applied all those tags. How does this help me? Well, basically, when we're looking at all of our lists, you're going to see that we have a new section down here called tags. And all I have to do is just tap on any one of these tags to show all of the reminders for that tag. So let's say I wanted to show all of the reminders for tire. So all I have to do is just tap on tire, and we can see we have all of those different reminders, even though they're in different lists. So we have my check the tire pressure on the bike, we have check tire pressure on the car, and I need to buy that tire patch kit. So even though they're in different lists, I can see all of the different reminders. Let's go back. Let's go over to shopping. Let's say I'm going out shopping. Again, it doesn't matter which list these reminders are in. When I tap on shopping, I can see all of the different reminders. Again, it doesn't matter which list it is in. So with tags, what we're able to do is not only apply multiple tags to a reminder, so then we can see it in different lists, but we can also apply a tag to multiple reminders. And then all we have to do is just tap on the tag that we want to show, and it'll show all of those reminders for that tag, no matter what list it is in. So you have far more flexibility with tags than you do with standard lists here. So what you may find yourself doing if you embrace tags is you may find yourself not using lists so much and using your tags more. So that's how we work with tags. Again, I'll show you a shortcut for adding tags when we take a look at the shortcut bar on the Reminders app. That's another tip in this video. Now, in the last tip, I briefly mentioned that there was another way to add tags to a reminder through the shortcuts bar, or what I call the shortcuts bar. That's what we're going to look at in this tip. Let's go back over to my iPhone. To access the shortcuts bar, what we need to do is we just need to tap on any one of the reminders. So let's go ahead and tap on this reminder here. When I do that, instead of going to my details by tapping on the I, all I need to do to add a notification based on date and time or location or flag it or even manage my tags is just go to this shortcuts bar, or what I call the shortcuts bar. I'm not sure what Apple's terminology is, but I'm just going to call it the shortcuts bar. We have 5 different shortcuts that we can add here. Basically, our first one here is where we can go and add a notification based on date and time, and it makes it really simple. I can go and add a notification for tomorrow just by tapping on this icon here. Or I can add a notification for this weekend just by tapping on this icon here. If I want to customize it or add my own date, I can tap on that icon here. So it makes it a lot easier to add a notification. Well, what about location? I tap on the location icon, and now I can set a notification for when I arrive home or when I get into the car. Or if I want to customize it, I tap on custom, and now I can customize that notification based on location. we also have tags. All I have to do is just tap on tags here, and I can modify my tags. And then we also have a flag, so I can easily flag the reminder. And if I wanted to add a photo or even scan a document and attach it to this reminder, I can do that as well. Tap on the camera, and then from here I can go and take a photo, add a photo from my library, photo library. I can scan a document, or I can even scan text, and then it'll attach that to this reminder. Now this shortcut bar here will show when we have a reminder open and the keyboard is showing. So it's always going to show above the keyboard. All right, now let's take a closer look at grocery lists. This is a special type of list. What it'll do, what the Reminders app will do, is it'll add those sections for you automatically. Let's see what I mean. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to go and create a list. We can also convert a list into a grocery list. So if you already have a grocery list, you can convert it. Let's go ahead and create a standard grocery list first. So I'm going to add a list here, and then we're just going to call this groceries. And now I just tap on done, and I have my grocery list. So let's go and add some items to it. I'm going to go with milk. I do like to have a good beer. What else do we need? Well, we need chips. We need steak. We need cheese. Let's go with wine. And we need bread. So I have some items in there. Now what I would like to do is I would like to add sections for this. So the beer and wine would be in the beer and wine section. Now one way of doing that is going up to the More button, as you learned, and then we can go and add a new section and then add them in there. Now we have to do that manually. Well, Apple made it really easy for us with the groceries list. It'll do this for us automatically. Now in order to do this, what we need to do is we need to convert this into a grocery list. So how do we do that? Well, we go back over to our lists. And then what we do is we long press on groceries. When we long press on it, we have an option to show the list info. This is where I can go and change the name, change the icon, things like that. But there's another option in here. We also have list type. And when you create a list, by default, what it's going to do is it's going to make it a standard list. This is what we're all used to. But when I tap on that, what I'm able to do is change it into a groceries list. So I tap on groceries, and now watch what happens when I go back over to my grocery list. I tap on done, I go over to groceries, and now we can see we have all of these different sections. And it'll add them as I add more items. It'll also place the items in the respective section. So let's go ahead and add a new item. We're going to call or say that we need eggs. When I tap on done, we can see it put it underneath dairy, eggs, and cheese. And if I didn't have that section in there, it would have created it for me automatically. So if you have a grocery list, I would highly recommend that you turn it into a grocery list type. Again, to do that, all you have to do is just long press on groceries here, and then you can go and show the list info. You'll see list type, turn it into a groceries list. In this tip, we're going to take a look at smart lists. With smart lists, what we can do is we can have reminders added to a list automatically based on specific criteria. Let's see what I mean. So we have our lists here, and what we have to do is we have to add our reminders to them manually. Well, as I mentioned, with smart lists, they are added to our lists automatically. We already have some smart lists. You're going to see that I have here scheduled. You never add anything to this list, but if you schedule a reminder, it will be added to this list automatically. It's a smart list. When we have a reminder that is due today, it is added to this list automatically. We'll still be able to find it in the original list here, but it will also be in this list here. So it's just showing us reminders that are due today. And in fact, when we look at our tags, those are smart lists too. I tap on any one of these and any reminders that have that tag will show in that list. So it's a smart list. Well, what we're able to do is create our own smart lists. based on specific criteria. So how do we do that? Well, basically it comes down to 3 steps. We first have to create the list. So I go and add the list here. We're just going to call this Smart List. I tap on Done here. And now I have my Smart List. Now what I need to do is I need to convert it into a Smart List. So how do we do that? We just go to More here, where we can find our list information, tap on Show List Info. This is where we can go and rename it and things like that, but if we scroll up, you're going to see we can convert this to a Smart List. So the first step is create it, now we have to convert it. So I tap on Convert, and now it is a Smart List. You're going to see that it says Smart List, what I named it. Now, I mentioned that there was a third step. Right now, this is a Smart List, but what is it showing us? Well, the third step is where we can go and put in that criteria. What do we want it to show? So now what I do is I long press on it again to get to my Show List Info. And then from here, you're going to see we have a new option, Manage. This is where I can go and add all of the criteria. So I tap on Manage, and then from here, I can set what I want to include. So from here, I can include all of the reminders that are shopping. So I just tap on Shopping, and it'll do that. I have a new tag here called Smart List. I'm going to deselect that. So now it's only going to show me reminders that are shopping. Okay, well, that's okay, but I can do that with tags. But also what I can do is I can set it for date, time. I can also set it for flag, so I can add other criteria to this. So let's say I add a date to my shopping. So what I'm able to do is say all of the reminders that are tagged as shopping and they're due today. And it'll show up in this list. Or maybe what I'd like to do is include flags. So I tap on flag. Maybe it's very important, so I just go and tap on flag. I can also add priority in here, or I can even add a list in here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just building what I want to show in this Smart List. And when I'm finished, all I have to do is just tap on Done here, and then any reminders that have this criteria is going to show in this list automatically. It's not going to move them out of the other list. All it's going to do is just show them in addition to the original list. It's going to show them in this Smart List. So basically what we're able to do with Smart Lists is just kind of build our own Smart List, much like what Apple has done with Today, the flagged list, or even scheduled list. We can go and make our own Smart Lists as well. So that's how we create Smart Lists. Since we're looking at lists, let's take a look at our lists sheet and see how we can pin lists. Let's go back over to my iPhone. So I'm looking at my lists here, and these lists up here are what we call pinned. And then we have our lists below it that we've added. Now what we can do is we can pin any one of these lists here and move them up to the top. So then they're easily accessible. And what we can do is we can remove these pins. Not all of them, but we can remove some of them. So let's say I never use flags. I would like to get rid of that. But what I would like to do is have my groceries list up here. I do use that quite a bit. So I'm going to remove one and pin another one. All we have to do is just long press on it. So I'm going to long press on flagged here. And then I can go and hide this. And then what it's going to do is it's just going to hide that pinned list. Now what I'd like to do is I would like to move groceries up here. So what do? I long press on it. And then you're going to see pin. And then all I have to do is just pin it, and we can see it's up here. And then if you have more pinned lists, we can also long press and drag them around. Now you're not going to be able to pin it up here towards the top, but if you do have other ones, you can rearrange them. So you're going to be able to pin them down here and rearrange them. So if you have a reminders list that you use quite a bit, you may want to pin it. And of course, if you have a pinned reminders in here and you don't want to do it or show it, you can also hide it. All right, we're almost done here. We have 3 more. In this tip, we're going to take a look at sharing lists. A good reason or a good example for this is the groceries list. My wife and I share our groceries list. So then when I add something to it, It's also added on her iPhone, on her Reminders app on her iPhone. She buys something, marks it as complete. It is marked complete on my iPhone, so then I don't buy it. This is what a shared list is. We're sharing all of the reminders in that list. And it's pretty simple to do. Let's see how we do this. Now, what we need to do is we need to long press on the list, and we can't do this with smart lists. We can only do this with our standard lists. So we're going to go to the grocery list. Like I said, that's a really good example. We long press on it, and then what you're going to see here is Share List. We just have to do a couple of steps here. All we have to do is just tap on Share List. We invite who we want to share. So if I wanted to share this with my wife, Beth, I would just tap on this. Or what I could do is I could email her or message her or anyone that I want to share this list with. And then once they get that message, they have to accept that invitation. So they're going to get a message when I tap on this. They accept that invitation, and that's all there is to it. From that point on, that list, in this case here, the groceries list, will be in both of our Reminders app. And that's basically all we have to do. And you can share it with more than one person. So we just long press on it, tap on Share, invite who we want to share it with. And then once they accept that invitation, they're going to see that list in the Reminders app. All right, the countdown continues. We have two more. In this tip, we're going to take a look at templates. Why would you want to create a template? What is a template? Well, a classic example for this is packing lists. When you create a list, let's say we have a packing list. We go back over to my iPhone. I have packing list here. Now, when I'm going on a trip, I'm going to have this in my lists here. But now let's say I'm no longer going on a trip. I'm not going to be on a trip for a while. So what I would like to do is I would just like to remove this from my lists altogether. Well, if I just go and delete it by swiping over to the left, it's going to delete that list. Now let's say 6 months later, I'm going on another trip. I have to recreate that packing list again. Well, what we can do is we can save this as a template, and then we can recreate that list from that template. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing you need to do is you do need to create the list. So I have my packing list here. Let's go ahead and tap on it. I have my packing list. I want to save this as a template. So I have my list created. Now what I do is I go up to More here, and when I do, you're going to see that we have Save as Template. That's all we have to do. So I tap on Save as Template. I'm going to call it Packing List. Tap on Save, and that's it. I have my template. So now what I'm able to do is delete this packing list. So let's go ahead and delete it. Delete it, and it is no longer there. Now I'm going on another trip. How can I find that template? Well, what we don't want to do is create a new list. What we want to do is we want to go up to the top here to our More, and then you're going to see Templates. That's where we want to go. So now I just tap on Templates. You're going to see I have Packing List here, and we can create more than one template. Tap on it, Create, and now we can see we have my packing list, and it has the 4 items in there. So let's say I wanted to change something. Let's go ahead and delete that. And we go up to the templates here. I want to make a change to this template. All I have to do is just tap on the eye here, and then I can edit this template, and I can add more items to it. Anything that I add or remove here will now be shown with any new lists that I create from this template. And if you like this template, you can also share with others. So that's how we work with templates in the Reminders app. A very powerful feature added a couple years ago, but I think it's very powerful. So then what you can do is keep your lists here nice and clean. Just create templates from them that you use periodically, and then you can just easily add them back in. All right, the last tip I'm going to show you is how we can change the view. What we're able to do is change the view of a list here from list to column. So let's go over to my groceries list. I would like to view this as a column. All we have to do is just tap on the More button here, and you're going to see that we have View as Columns. When we do that, it is no longer a single list, but you're going to see that it as columns. So I just swipe left or right to view the different sections. And I can easily move them around if I wanted to from section to section. We can do this with any list. So it's just a different way of viewing our list. Probably not so great on the iPhone, but on the iPad and the Mac, it really does make a difference when you're looking at specific lists. Maybe you want to view it in a list or a column view as opposed to a giant list. This is great for project management as an example. Now, you can easily change it back to your list just by going up to the More button here. And then all we have to do is just go View as List. And now it's back to a list. So it doesn't change anything with your list directly. All it's doing is just changing the view. Again, this was introduced with iOS 17, just as the grocery list was as well. So those are some tips on how to get more out of the Reminders app on the iPhone. The Reminders app is pretty powerful. It's not only just a list taker or a list manager. What we can do is we can change the view. We can add sections. We can have it add sections for us automatically with grocery lists. We can share our lists. We can create smart lists. We can tag different reminders. Now, you're not going to use all of these features. I'm assuming you're not going to use all of these features. If you are, that's a power user. But you may want to use a couple of these different features with your Reminders list. So that is the Reminders app and a few tips on how you use the Reminders app on the iPhone. Now, if you found this video to be helpful, it'd be great if you could like the video or even share it with others. Also, you may want to subscribe to my channel. In addition to that, even though I do have about 400 videos on YouTube, and that is growing, I'm adding more on a regular basis, I do have over 2,000 videos on my website, danstutorials.com. I've been managing my website or creating these videos a lot longer than I have been working with YouTube, so I have a lot more videos on my website. In addition to that, when you go to my website, there's a way that you can also support my efforts. You can become a member of my website. When you become a member of my website, not only do I take out all of the ads for YouTube, so you get to see ad-free versions of my videos, but in addition to that, you also get my AI assistant, which is modeled after an Apple Genius. So if you have any questions, it's like you have an Apple Genius at your fingertips. And you get access to my webinars and classes that I hold on a regular basis. I hold usually 2 or 3 a month, and they range anything from classes on specific subjects to an Ask Me Anything, where you can just ask your questions. And that is all over at Dan's Tutorials. But probably most important, what you are doing is you're helping support a small business. I work out of an office in the corner of my house. It's just a second bedroom. I turn it into an office, and that's where I do these recordings. So if you like what you see here, you can also support my efforts by becoming a member. Check out Dan's Tutorials. So again, I hope these tips were helpful for you, and if you did find them helpful, please share them with others, like the button, or maybe even subscribe to my channel. Thank you.